Okay, all right. Yo, what's up, warriors? Long time no see. I'm back from my vacay officially. I'm back to bully you all. I mean, to give you all the greatest feedback I can so we can all improve, okay? JK, I'm not bullying anyone. So, yeah, this is Portrait Bootcamp week 192, lesson 2 and 3, feedback live stream, and we have some lesson 3 and lesson 2 submissions. Hope you guys can hear me, see me, and everything works. And yeah, hope that Crystal is treating you all good. And hello to everybody in the chat. So hello to Bianca, hello to Lindsay, hello to Alex. Okay, and I hope everything is working. Okay, it seems like everything is chill. So yeah, let's get into the submissions. First up, we have Just Banana. Okay, and Just Banana says, "Hi Julia." Yo, Julia! Last week I got promoted to lesson 3 by my guy Chris. I'm starting to like him already. Hell yeah, Chris is epic, so definitely everybody should like him. Anyways, this week I started to work on lesson 3 stuff. I would say that I struggled with his hair a bit due to the curls and the eyebrows. Also, I wasn't really sure about the connection of the neck and chin and the back side of the jaw. Okay, all in all, really excited to be in lesson 3 and finally start producing some juicers. Thanks for the critique once again, Julia. Okay, Just Banana. All right, let's see what Banana is up to. Okay, so that was last week. Yeah, pretty good. Very good chunks in here actually. And yeah, planes looking very solid. In here, I feel like your hair is a little bit repetitive, but it's good enough for the plane. Okay, and now this is your first time in lesson 3. And yeah, for the first time, it's looking very, very good, Banana. You definitely did a very good job actually with the hair. I see you studied the good example. So that's very, very good. Let's see your questions again. Okay, eyebrows. All right, yeah, we can talk about eyebrows. Connection of the neck and chin. I feel like in here you handled it pretty good, like that's chill. In here, if you look at the proportion, like your neck is a little bit thicker than it is on the model. But yeah, other than that, pretty good. So let's talk about some stuff that I see in here. So the thing that like I immediately like saw is that I feel like you're let me just get proper brush. I feel like you're going about like line variation a little bit too hard on it. So like I know that like we say in the course that yeah, you're supposed like wherever light is hitting, you're supposed to make it a little bit lighter, but you have like too much you have just too much variation. Like your lines need to be a little bit more consistent. So you see how in here this is like super light, super light. This is all super light. This line literally disappeared. And then even like throughout this line is kind of weird that you have like no build up here, no build up here, but then like the middle you got like dark. Okay, and I can see it like all throughout. So like in here it gets super dark. We don't really do like this thing called like gosh, how was it called? Like build up corners and stuff. We kind of retired from that. Now kind of the new vibe is just having a really good consistent line weight. Yeah, more of like this vibe. See how like everything in here, it's kind of like kept to like kind of the same opacity, the same build-up. And then you're just having a little bit more for the eyes, nostrils, and lips corners, and there's opening like this place in here. Okay, so that would be my first thing I wanted to say, definitely the most important. So I'm gonna say this for the Discord so you can, like, you know, see it highlighted banana. But that would be my biggest feedback. Like, I feel like your design is pretty good, but it's really about like the build up, you know, so like you need to unify your lines a little bit. Okay, you asked about eyebrows, so I'm gonna show you. You have like very good proportions of your eyebrows. Like, I really like that. You know, the triangle is like pretty good size, probably could be bigger, but I really like how, like, you know, from here to here, I feel like you captured that really well. The only thing that your eyebrows lack a little bit is like the tapering. So let me liquefy it really quick. So tapering is basically that, like, at this point, a little bit before the triangle like breaks, you're gonna have it going a little bit in. So see, that's what tapering is, and the same on the other side. Also, I have trust issues. Hope this stream works. Last time my chat did not work for some reason. Oh, you guys just silent. Okay, and the stream appears to work. All right, that's good. So yeah, in here also a little bit of tapering like that. Okay. All right. So I think that would be my biggest feedback. Definitely work on the lines. You have very, very good design. But work on the lines, and like that's what tapering in the eyebrows is. So it's super simple. You just make sure that like this line in here is bigger than, like, if you imagine a line in here, this one should be smaller. Okay. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord, and I will see you next week, banana. But very good job. Okay. All right. Next up we have Lindsay. Okay. And Lindsay says, "Hi Julia," with a cursive. How was vacation? Vacation was very, very good. I'm sad it's over, but you know, gotta get back to it. I hope it was wonderful. I'm curious. Sorry, just my personality. So, where did you go, or what did you do? I wish I could go on vacay. I actually took a vacay to Israel because I was visiting a friend. And well, we are we are kind of introverts, so we just kind of sat at home, chilled together. But we went to the Dead Sea, and I actually tasted the water. It's super salty. I do not recommend doing that to anyone. But yeah, pretty much Dead Sea. I saw a bunch of camels. Yeah, a little bit of Tel Aviv, and other than that, we were just chilling. Okay. And I hope you're gonna get on some vacay, Lindsay. Oh, like, it's very refreshing. While we were gone, Chris did good and didn't burn down. Oh, I need to turn this up. The house. That's good. That's good. He pointed out a couple of little things. The main one was keeping the eyebrow triangle at 1/3. I tend to shorten it. Since the last couple of critiques have been minor subtleties, I want to really spend time focusing on all the little things, those details that I have missed in the past. So I challenged myself to just do one good work. I hope it passes the test. Okay, well, we will see. Great to have you back. Grateful for you, Lindsay. All right, glad to be back as well. Okay. So, last time Yeah, this one's looking pretty good. Chris up. OP. Yeah, more build up for the eyes, definitely. Longer triangle, for sure. Yeah, that would be a pretty good study if, if these things were like better. Okay, also this one. All right. And then this one. This one is looking pretty good. Okay, I hear people next to my room. Hopefully nobody will come in. And this is this week. Yeah, this one is looking pretty good, Lindsay. Definitely improved with those triangles. Jeez, why is this so? Let me see. So I think you have really good nose. The eyebrows definitely so much better. The triangles way bigger, so that's really good. But I still feel you didn't merge it. I still feel like you could get a little bit more build up on the eyes. Okay, so I also feel like you really made it like a like this sign, and it's a little bit more rounder on the reference. So I will like try to even it out, made it a little bit rounder, you know, like that, so it's like looking more natural. Okay, and also a little bit of build up in the corner and here at the top. Okay, and on the other side I would do the same thing. I would add a little bit of build up, especially in here and here. Okay, and another thing, like, see how the eyebrow in here, there's this thing that it kind of like wraps around, like you can see this a little bit of this shape in here. It's very like gonna push your 3D feel of your sketch if you're gonna actually capture that going like that. Okay, so in this case, feel like this eyebrow could go a little bit like that, lower. And we can have a little bit coming out, like a little bit coming out. And then like this, wrapping, so you can really see that the eyebrow has a little bit of volume to it. Okay. And here it's a little bit weird how you have like a bump and then like this, because on reference a little bit more gradual. So I will just make it a little bit more like seamless. Okay, so going a little bit in, but not so much. Okay, and then here you also like forgot to like connect the ear to like the jaw, so you know, make sure you don't forget that. And yeah, other than that, everything else is looking very, very good. So those would be the changes. This is definitely very, very close, Lindsay. So I just want to see you do more, and I want you to like try avoiding doing some kind of weird stuff, like, you know, like can hear this a little bit, thinking more about like the structure of everything, so like wrapping those eyebrows and adding this build up at the top eyelid and a little bit on the top of the iris. Okay, so I'm gonna save it for the Discord, but really, really good job, Lindsay. So just work a little bit on those things, and I will see you next week. But this is already starting to look very, very nice. Okay. Hey, and Lindsay in the chat says, wow, Israel, that's amazing. How freaking cool. You drank from the Dead Sea. Yes, however, I do not recommend. Too salty. Okay. Oh, we have Leah in the chat. Good afternoon, warriors. All right. So we have Lily, and Lily says, hi Julia, hope you're doing well and hope you had a good vacation. Yes, I definitely did. That was very, very nice vacay. Last week Chris told me to make my iris more darker and to make my bottom eyelid more visible. I hope I've done a better job. Thank you so much for your feedback, Lily. Okay, so iris more darker and to make the bottom eyelid more visible. This is already looking pretty good, Lily. It's definitely more build up for the bottom eyelid. Okay, and this is this week. Okay, and this one. And I feel like you could still you definitely made the irises a little bit darker, so that's great. But still, like, if you zoom out, you cannot really see the bottom eyelid. Okay. So let me maybe overpaint this one. So seeing here how, like, you have up to this point, you have like a pretty dark line, which is really good. And then once it like transitions, it gets into like super not visible and super tiny line. So actually, what would be better is like if you had like similar situation, but this needs to be like thicker. See, like it can be a little bit less opacity, like how you have it, but it needs to be a little bit thicker because if you cannot see it, it's a little bit problematic. Okay. And then in here, it's also a little bit about the shapes. So in here, you can see that there's a little bit of space between the eye and like the nose. There's a little bit of space. So I would include that space in here to better capture the shape of the eye, like that. And you can see in here, this is what we always talk about, observing the shape of the iris and like how much we see. So we're gonna draw the entire iris, which we know it's like a circle, or if it's like turned in perspective, it's gonna be an oval. So in here, if we're gonna like finish this iris, say something like this, you can see that like the point that the bottom upper eyelid is cutting it off. It's like basically splitting this into like 50%, and this is also 50%. Okay, so if you do like a quick eye in here, depending on like how much of the depending on like how much of the iris is like showing, it's gonna like have an effect on the expression and symmetry. So like if we have this eye in here, we always like draw the entire iris. So if you're gonna do like, yeah, like 50% roughly, okay, you're gonna get, and now we like erase the top, you're gonna get like this chill looking eye, and it's looking a little bit up. And then if you do it like this, where only like maybe 10% is in here, you're gonna get an eye that's looking a little bit more open, awake, and it's gonna be looking a different direction. And we can definitely go to lesson 3 channel in here, and we have this very cool diagram that I did like years ago, where you have to like very much like observe the shape that's at the bottom and make the iris look chill. So most cases we just really need to like observe the shape in here. And here the shape is definitely more like this. It's like a half. And in yours, it's basically, if we were to finish this, there would be like maybe 5% at the top. And in here, it's again like more like 50. So we need to match it up. And we do that by making it closer to the reference. Okay, like that. Okay, and the other one I feel like would be a little bit Okay, so before and after. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord so you can check it out. Lily, but that would be the biggest thing to work on. I could also see it in your other works. Really making sure that you're thinking about and like observing the shape of the iris here and the shape of the eye. Okay? Because I see you struggling with it, like also a little bit in here, though it was better. So just work on that and be careful with those irises. This one is way better though. So I think you just struggle a lot in those 3/4 angles, so maybe focus on that. Okay, next up we have Leah. Okay, and Leah says, "Hi Julia, hope you're doing well." Thank you so much, Leah. Hope you're doing well as well. I would love to know what to focus on for next week to progress to the next lesson. Hell yeah, I can do that. As always, thank you for the feedback. You're so welcome, Leah. Thank you for your hard work. Okay, so wait. Let me see. Like, so that was like before. Okay, definitely getting better. Pretty good hair. Okay, and here also, yeah, pretty good hair. Okay, and this is a new one. Okay. We have this. I feel like I've seen this already. Okay, and then we have this one. Okay, that's pretty good. Let me see. So I feel like this one is very, very good. The only thing is I feel like you got confused with like the reference, but how it actually is like he has a jaw kind of that creates like a tangent. So I would just make sure that there is like a jawline like that, and then he has a neck. Okay, so that's one thing. And then I feel like he's looking very like open, like his eye look very open, and he looks more like he has like soft eyes in here. So I would just close, like add more build up to make his eyes look a little bit more chill. Okay, so before and after. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord. But really good design for all the other stuff, and he really has like the vibe of the model, which is like hard to capture. Okay, and for this one again, really good, Leah. I really like the hair, though maybe a little bit more shapes, but I think it's pretty okay. Okay, and here again, very good, but you have mismatched irises. So if you look at this one, you'll see that your iris in here kind of has this kind of shape. Okay, and then this one is more vertically stretched like that. So that makes it a little bit mismatched. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord in this state so you can take a look. Okay. And how I would change it is like you have to just match it. So either this one or this one. So I feel like in this case, we can attempt matching this one. So maybe close this eye a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, and that would be literally it. Okay, so I'm gonna save it for the Discord so you can check it out. Okay. And for this one, I really love the nose, really love the lips, and like I love the silhouette. But like you're not gonna like it, but it's again a little bit the eyes. Like this should be a little bit bigger. and have like a little bit more build up. You have very small lines for your eyes, and it should be a little bit more thick, especially in here at the connection, and just a little bit more build up overall for the upper eyelids. Okay, and on the other side as well, more build up. Okay, so before and after. So I think, Leah, you got like very good design for like everything. So for next week, I just want to see you doing like just eye studies to really like push it, whatever you're still missing. So I want to see kind of like something like this, and like really pay attention to like the line weight, you know, where to add build up and stuff, and really pay attention to the shapes of the irises. Everything else is good. Like if this guy had eyes like this, I would be like, you would be in lesson 4. Okay, so you're like super close, Leah. The final push gonna be like really making those eyes work. Okay, so great job. See you next week. Work on those eyes. Okay, next up we have Jessie. Okay, and Jessie says, hi Julia. Last week I was told to continue with understanding hair. This week was tough. I ended up not liking the drawing too much. Alright, sometimes it happens. Okay, let's see. I feel I could have maybe done a bit better than I did. One question I have is how well is the far nostril? It feels off to me, so any feedback on that and any other parts of the drawing is welcomed. Thank you. Alright, you're welcome, Jessie. Let's see. Okay, and Leah says, okay. Yeah, saying she's doing good. I forgot which ones I've done sometimes, so it could be that I did this head already. So close. Alright, gonna show you some bomb-ass eyes next week. Hell yeah, I hope so, Leah. Okay, we have this one from Jessie some time ago. This one, yeah, this one looking bomb. Okay, yeah, this one I remember overpainting the hair. Okay, in here I feel like it got better. Like here, you're capturing all that you're supposed to be capturing. Okay, and this is this week. And your questions are, the far nostril feels off. I feel like it's pretty okay. I would just maybe like make it so it has a little bit of this like bit in here, and also the other one, so we can kind of indicate the existence of the septum. And I would actually add a little bit indication for the septum, like that. Okay, so before, after, so just a little bit more subtlety. So before, after. And I feel like this in here would be pushed a little bit more like that. And overall, like the bow would be a bit more like this. Okay, because as you can see, like his nostril pops out a little bit. So I would just make sure we are showing that this nostril pops out. Okay, before and after. Okay. All right. Really good eyebrows. Pretty good eyes. Just maybe a little bit more roundness for the bottom eyelid, and a little bit more build up, so it's not like such a harsh transition. Okay, maybe a little bit more build up here. And also be careful with planes. I feel like this plane is not the most correct because of its angle. So I feel like for this guy, the planes would be looking a little bit different. And a bit bigger, a bit lower. Right, so see how your triangle, your cheekbone is a little bit too flat. Like that would work better for like a side view, but this is 3/4, so you need to like make it more. Let me just use this so it's like matching. You have to make it more in perspective, right? So we remember that basically what a cheekbone is, it's like a rectangle in perspective. Okay, so you can like finish the rest of the box. Okay, and depending on like how the head is turned, gonna get different angles of that. Okay, so be careful with them planes. You know, and as we know, the size of this shape and this shape should be roughly the same, and you can see that in here this one is way smaller. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord so you can check it out, Jesse. Okay, so as for the hair shapes, like this is not the greatest hair to do like hair shapes. It's gonna look awkward anyways, but I think considering the reference you managed pretty well. So I feel like the biggest thing for you would be to like, yeah, be careful with the cheekbones, more subtlety for the noses, more build up here for irises, and other than that, you're doing really, really well, Jesse. Okay, so great job, keep going, and see you next week. I try some hair references that have a little bit more chunks going. Okay, next up we have Emily. And Emily says, hi Julia. Last week Chris told me to put more work into my eyes. This week before you told me to make the eyes a bit smaller and pay more attention to the reference. Okay, I guess I overdid it a bit and Chris told me I made them a little bit too small now. I hope I found the middle this week, haha. Thank you for the critique, Emily. Well, I hope you did find the middle ground and you're so welcome. Thank you for your hard work. Let's see, okay? So that was last week, okay? Yeah, I feel like the eyes are like a little bit too small, but you know. Okay, yeah, this one is looking pretty good. Okay, and then we have this week. Okay, this week. Oh, this one is very, very good, Emily. Yeah, this one definitely ready. And this one. Yeah, I feel like definitely this week the eyes are looking so much better. Especially like these ones in here are looking extra good. Okay. So one thing that I noticed in all of your studies is a little bit the shapes for your nostrils. So the shapes you're doing for the nostrils, you're missing like this indication of the septum. So like the usual shape that we do, it's more like this, right? And like kind of like a comma. And that's because, see, like this in here, this is what's gonna like indicate a septum. If you don't have this like a little bit of like a sharp corner, then you're kind of losing a little bit of structure. So what I would do in your work, I would just change those nostrils so you have a bit of this like nostril septum shape. Okay, so a little bit of that in here. Okay, and then you can actually do like a little bit of septum, a bit bigger. Okay, and this one as well. Kind of hard to overpaint, but I think I kind of got it. Okay, before and after. But it's really important that you're having this sharp thing in here. Okay, I feel like this nose is not perfect, but I feel like we have like a good example of this that shows it very well. Yeah, exactly. Like this one in here. See how the nose has those like sharp points in here? And then it's like kind of like flows into the septum, because that's what we're trying to show with like this shape of the nostril. You're trying to capture this shape in here. That's all we're trying to do with our nostrils. Just make sure that like we're capturing this space and the shape that we have on the reference. Okay, so I'm gonna save it for the Discord. Definitely check out the good example that's pinned in lesson 3 to like observe it in here. Okay, and another thing, when we are doing open mouth, we don't do lines in here. And the opening, like, see how this looks like a very like straight rectangle? It looks kind of better if you like round it off everything a little bit, so it looks a little bit more organic. Okay, so that would be it. This one is very good. And in here again, it's the nostril. You can really see that on the reference, this is kind of the shape. Okay, and on the other one, we would have to get creative, but something like that. All right, so again, make sure you're working on the shapes for nostrils. Yeah, but the eyes are looking very good. So just keep going, Emily. Watch out for those nostrils, and I will see you next week. Okay, but pretty good, pretty good. Okay, next up we have Ari. And Ari says, hi Julia. Hello Julia. Here are more lesson 3 drawings. Is my hair design good? Are my lines good? Ari Ibar. Okay, so that was last week. Okay, this one, all right. This one, all right. And this is this week. And this week. Okay. And I feel like Ari, I am not sure if you're like doing the chunks, but remember that, you know, before each lesson 3, you should have like a solid lesson 2. And I feel like maybe you're not really doing like all the steps we have for hair in lesson 2, because your hair looks very empty. And what makes like the structure for the chunks for the hair is actually to have like a little bit of underdrawing of the chunks. If we're gonna look at good examples, so if we're gonna look at any good example that we have in here, I feel like it's, or did they, that mean that, are we not doing that anymore? Hold on. I think we are not doing that anymore. Okay, never mind then. Okay, then never mind. But thing is, still, remember to like always first understand all the chunks in here, separate it, you know, establish where the bend lines are in lesson 2, so you can like get familiar with this hair, and then do like the shapes. Okay, so I wouldn't like worry that much about hair, because I feel like we have to talk about the face first. Okay, so I feel like you have pretty good proportions, but you need to improve on your shapes because you're being too general with those shapes. So I would start with like improving the silhouette of the face. Okay, so first thing I noticed here is that look how in here this line in yours is kind of like this kind of bend to it, like it's bending outwards. Meanwhile, on the reference, it's rather straight, and if anything, it actually looks like this line goes a little bit in. Okay, so that's one thing I noticed. Another thing, if we look at the space in here from the nose to the outside of the face, you will see that you have actually more space in here, and there is none of this like corner that much in here. It's a little bit shorter and way more like subtle. So in here I would make it like more gentle, like this, going down. Then he definitely doesn't have this like going out like that. He has it like very much just going down like that. Okay, and he have a little bit of going in for the mouth. Okay, and then in here, look how much bigger you made the eyebrow. This is how thick your eyebrow is. This is how thick the eyebrow is on the reference. And then you can see that it actually like comes out and wraps around. Okay, so that's also part of the silhouette. So in here, you would get this actually wrapping like that, hands popping out. Okay. And being a little bit thinner. Okay. And here a little bit. Going in. I'm just overpainting the silhouette here. Okay, and then this one is a little bit more round. And then you can see that in here, this would be a little bit more straight. And you will see that just those changes like bring in a lot more likeness. Okay, and then here I would simplify it. So before and after, before, after. So I feel like you don't have to worry that much about your hair right now, because you have more things to tackle first with the silhouette. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord, and I want you to pay attention to those silhouettes, Ari, because that's the biggest problem right now. And like the same way as I just showed you with the face, you can also treat like the nose. So in here you can do like, there's this line kind of shape, okay, and then he has like a very, very, very subtle, almost like a bump. Then it comes out, it's in here, and then there's like this wraps down, and there's just like a bunch of shapes in here. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord as well, so you can check it out and like make sure you're paying attention to all those subtle stuff. Okay, and for this one, I feel like your shapes for the hair are a little bit too small. Like I would make them bigger, so like there's like a very big triangle in here. I feel like this could be something. There's definitely like that. Okay, I would separate it how you did it. Okay, then this, just like checking out, right? And like with this, maybe something like that. And as for the design here, again, like you need to like be more observant of the shapes on the reference, okay? Especially for like the eyes and eyebrows. And here the silhouette is pretty good. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord, Ari. My biggest feedback is definitely to pay more attention to the shapes and work on your silhouettes. Okay, so great job. See you next week. All right, and now we have lesson 2 people, and first up we have Elodie. Oh my god, confusion. Okay, and September says, "Hi Julia, I hope you are well." Thank you so much, Elodie. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good as well. It's my first week at level 2. Ooh, hello to lesson 2. So I would like to take things step by step and have you validate each step. At the moment, I have only learned to draw faces, and I haven't gone into detail on how to draw hair, just the first step. Could you let me know if that's okay? I hope they are not bold. I hope you like did at least like a hair lay-in. Then I will work on the hair, and once I understand everything, I will submit the drawings to you freehand. Thank you in advance for your feedback, Elodie. Okay, let's see what's happening. Did you say like I am confused. Is this a tracing or is this your work? I am not sure what am I looking at and what is happening. Oh, so you're doing just the tracings. Okay, so we have this one and this one. And like looking at those tracings, I feel like you're doing pretty good in terms of like eyes, lips, noses, but and eyes also doing really good. But for the cheekbones, you tend to make them a little bit too big. So if I were to trace cheekbones in here, okay, we have this, then we connect it. Okay, so that would be closer to the actual size of those cheekbones here. I feel like I made it a little bit too long, so I think that this would be shorter. Maybe a bit less angled. Okay, so I feel like that's how I would do the cheekbone here. So yours is just tiny bit too big. And your triangles like too. So just make it a little bit slower, a little bit smaller, and make sure that, see this line, how it has like this kind of bend in yours? Make sure that these lines are always like wrapping in here, okay? So I'm gonna save it for the Discord. So yeah. And yeah, as I said, for the hair, you can just watch in lesson 2 the video about hair laying, and you can for now just do the hair layings. Okay, so yeah, make the cheekbone smaller and more like rectangles, because this is a square and we want a rectangle. Other than that, everything else looks good. So yeah, work on the cheekbones and trace also some hairlines. Okay, so great job, Elodie. See you next week. Next up, we have Ehab. And Ehab says, "Hi, Julia. I barely had time to match those 2 weeks. Skipped work for some hours today just to squeeze those 2 pieces before this session." Okay, remember, no rush. It's even better to just do like 1 drawing, but not rush it. I had 3 problems last time: hair construction, draw jaws straight, don't draw beard, make the cheekbone top and side almost equal in size. Yes, very important. I also kind of settled down with line weight workflow, and I kept the notes for anyone who wants to know what I'm doing. Cheers and have fun. All right. Did you include the notes here, or what is happening? Okay, wait. So it was last time. Okay, yeah, no beards and bigger cheekbones, I think. Just draw it straight, don't draw beard. Make the cheekbone top and side almost equal in size. Yeah. Oh yeah, this one definitely. Oh yes, chill with those hair, buddy. Okay. Okay, and this is the new one. All right. Okay. And this one. Okay. Listen, before I'm gonna read those, I feel like this is exactly like what you're doing. Like, you're focusing too much on this line weight, and you're using too small of a brush, and your lines need to be like more, like a little bit thicker and a little bit more like built up. So like if I were to like go over your work, I would just make sure that everything kind of gets like more even, and definitely thicker lines. Okay. Especially for the hair. So like good examples for like line weight for the lesson 2, you can definitely check out in here. And this is kind of more what we are looking for. So see, like everything is made with like same brush, and it's like a little bit thicker. As you can see, it's like maybe like on the neck, I feel like somebody went too thick, but it's generally a little bit thicker and a little bit more like line weight line, like lesson 1 lines. it's not line weight yet. Okay, so that would be it. So definitely like leave line weight stuff for the line weight. And also like in planes, we don't draw the eyebrows. So get rid of the eyebrows. There will be time and space for eyebrows in lesson 3. Okay, for now we're just focusing on the structure. Okay. As for the planes, like in here, you have like very good planes. I really like these planes in here. And for the hair, like again, like you need to make it more into chunks. So definitely, if you haven't yet, I would recommend you to like watch the videos that we have in the course for lesson 2 chunks. So this is like the how we have like the sections, and then on top of sections we have chunks with like bend lines. So that's essentially like, see here, hair chunks. This is how your lesson 2 hair should look like. This in here. So just like kind of like metal sheets, just capturing the silhouette, very simplified. And then only later we kind of make it more like this, and then you're gonna get the final product. But for now, stick to doing it like this. You can definitely check out on the Discord new hair process channel, and in here you can see like other examples on what we are expecting from the hair chunks. All right, you're still definitely doing it too much like a drawing, and this would be like great for like, yeah, just like a sketch you want to like post on Instagram. But in here we are just focusing on like breaking it down and understanding the form. Okay, same in here. And in here you have to be careful with the cheekbone, because look how you made this in here. This is supposed to be like a bottom eyelid. So it's gonna be from the corner of the eye, a little bit like this, and then it's breaking in here. So it goes from here, and it's always, so that would be this. It's never starting here, it's starting here. Okay, and then again, this goes like that. We do this, we do that. You just connect this. Okay, and then you do the cheekbone. Feel like this could be maybe a bit higher. And we get rid of this. And this one is like that, and then you at the bottom. Okay, but like, see how, like this could be a bit bigger. And this a little bit higher. And this actually more. Like this. Okay, so like, see how in here it's super important that everything in here comes out from this point here. Okay, then this needs to be from the corner, and then you know, kind of like, it's kind of like the entire like cheekbone is kind of like on this arch in here, but this is not the arch from the lay-in, it's a little bit lower. Okay, so keep that in mind. Make your lines more build up, less line weight, bigger brush. So your brush right now is like here, like very small. that would be the stump. And we want like bigger brush, but pressing lightly, so you get like this kind of lines. Okay, so I'm gonna save it for the Discord so you can check it out, eHub. Don't think for now about line weight. There's gonna be time for line weight in lesson 3 line weight. This is lesson 2 planes, okay? And also don't draw eyebrows just yet, okay? So work on that, eHub, and I will see you next week, okay? All right. Next we have Bogdan. Okay. You just drink a little bit. And Bogdan says, "Hi Julia, good morning. Good morning. It's more like afternoon for me. Second time submitting for lesson 2. Last week I had problems in planes of the nose, so I concentrated on fixing them. Do I have a problem with the hair chunks? Thanks, Bogdan." Okay, you had problem with the planes of the nose. Okay, and you're asking if you have a problem with the hair chunks. I feel like the nose is definitely improved now, Bogdan. And you're asking if you have problems with the hair chunks. I feel like what you're doing is like pretty good. But I feel like you're trying to force in like the structure a little bit too much, like especially in here, like all those forms in here. I don't think it's like that needed. You're not really like doing those blocks. It's very hard for you to like understand that hair, it's like stacked on each other like layers of kind of like flat surface. So you have to think about them like it's like metal sheets. So you don't think about it as like blocks. You kind of think more about it as like those like metal sheets that are like bent. Yeah, kind of more like this. Where is this one visual that I always use? Okay, like metal sheets, just overall. Yeah, like this. Just one that's a kind of like bendy. Oh yeah, like on a roll, for example. Like this highlight in here, this is like where we put like the bend line. Yeah, this is not really serving me. But yeah, the point is like if you look at like the good examples, didn't I just had it? Oh yeah, like here. We are just treating it as like those kind of like, yeah, like bent shades. All of this. We are not trying to do much of like those blocks that you're doing in here. So like this, we are rather just sticking to it being like flat layers, like paper, cut out of paper. Do we have any that's like kind of more similar to like the ones that you're having, like super messy? Let me see. I feel like, yeah, like this one in here, I guess, would be, see, like just separating it into like those, like, yeah, like flat metal places, like sheets, and like those lines are like bend lines when it's like bending. Okay, so I would just stay away from like overcomplicating it like that. In here, like it's like working pretty well, but I would just in here, this is a little bit unnecessary. Like I would just do probably this is one on top, and then here like that. Okay, like you don't need to complicate it that much. Okay, but the planes itself, they're looking pretty good. Okay, this one is like very good. In here it's only like the cheekbone. You made it a little bit too long. So I feel like it just would be a little bit shorter. Not shorter, but just like a little bit thicker. Okay, so I feel like Bogdan, you're ready to try out some lesson 3. Just be careful with those hair chunks. So yeah, so move on to lesson 3, but be careful. Maybe rewatch the hair chunks videos and definitely watch the lesson 3 videos on hair. And lastly, we have Bianca. But yeah, but great job, Bogdan. Definitely ready for the lesson 3. And now we have Bianca, and Bianca says, "Hi Julia, last week's feedback was cheekbones look too flat, especially from 3/4 angle. Submit some more 3/4, eyes too big, and beard. Get some more mileage in. I feel like I understand the hairplane's kinda good now, but for some reason I feel like my faces still look a bit robotic and off-putting. Not sure what I'm doing wrong here. Thank you for your help and the critique. Hope you have a nice day." You're so welcome. And thank you for your hard work, Bianca. Let's see what is going on. Okay, so that was last time. Okay, pretty good, like hair, yeah. There's like, wait, that was like last time, the hair brush, that's just, the hair lay-in, and then we had the arrows, and yeah, this is actually very, very good process for the hair. It got a little bit repetitive in the back, but definitely in here, this is all really, really good. Okay, and now we have this one and this one. Okay, yeah, I can definitely see that your faces still are looking a little bit weird. And you know, I feel like it's kind of boiling down to you being a little bit more careful with proportions of the features. So like overall proportions like on the silhouette are like pretty good, but then look at that. If we are gonna measure how big are this guy's lips, like from here to here, well, maybe a little bit more. This is how big. Oops, I did it on the wrong layer. Okay, come back, new layer, from here to here. Okay, and then if we put it to your lips in here, literally, look, this all, it's like how much bigger you made the lips. Okay, so that's for lips. And for nose, like this, and then I would say like that. So if we're gonna put it on yours, it's, first of all, it's like different shapes. And again, like a little bit too big. Okay, I feel like for the nose, it's mostly the shapes. So be like super careful with that. Also, there is something weird happening sometimes. Like remember that the breakdown for the nose, you're missing like the septum. So this nose is probably like a Phineas nose. So we would just have this going in. We wouldn't really have the other nostril. And then the ball in here. Okay, and from the ball, this and the nostril with the shapes that we always do. that. Okay. So we don't really like draw this, and see how like in here it goes into like a point. This is a septum in here. Okay. Another thing, when you're tracing the lips, remember that it's like a little bit, this plane is a little bit bigger, and it's like wrapping on top of the lips. So not just like this and that, but like it goes a little bit to the sides. Okay. And in here for the hair, I feel like you simplified it too much. This would be like good for like hair laying maybe, but there's like a little bit more happening in here that you would have to like organize. Okay, so I'm gonna save it for the Discord so you can check it out, Bianca. So maybe for next week just do one word, but really focus on like proportions and shapes, and like really breaking down the hair. And here is the same thing, like kind of missing the septum. Again, a little bit the proportions and the shapes. So I would just recommend you, Bianca, to go onto the Discord and pick any of the good examples that we have and try doing a study of it, you know, so you will like see how people interpret those faces. And I feel like it's gonna make it so much easier. So what I want to see for next week is you going onto the Discord, onto the pinned examples, and do like an exact study of it. Okay, we have plenty of examples. Just pick one and do a study of someone else's drawing to like understand how it should look like. Okay, so do that, Bianca, and I will see you next week. Okay, great job. All right, and that was everybody for today. So thank you guys so much for watching, for working. Everybody keep grinding, keep going, and I will see you all next week. All right.